Happy morning, children. Today we'll start with chapter 3 of Unit 1, Human Reproduction. So, we all know that humans are sexually reproducing and they are viviparous in condition. And the product, that is the reproduction process, involves the following steps. That is gametogenesis, formation of gametes, male and female gametes in the respective reproductive system. Next is insemination, that is transfer of sperms into the female reproductive tract. And next is process of fertilization, that is fusion of male and the female gametes, which is internal fertilization. Formation of zygote, then the zygote will transform into a blastocyst. Then the blastocyst will develop and get implanted in the inner walls of the uterus, and then that embryo has to develop, that is fetal development, and the period of fetal development you call it as gestation. Normally we call it as pregnancy period. Next is followed by parturition, which is nothing but the delivery of the child at the end of gestation period. So you will be following this structure for the male reproductive system. So we'll just begin with this male reproductive system, the structural details. So we are going to learn this structure under 4 headings, like a pair of testes, and then accessory ducts associated with it, and accessory glands and external genitalia. So under these 4 headings we are going to learn in detail the structure of the male reproductive system. So the system is found in the pelvic region, and then first we'll see about the pair of testes, the details of the structure. So before we go into that video part, you have to be familiar or recall, because you have learnt already in 10th standard. So just recall the terms like testis, scrotum, then seminiferous tubules, and then Leydig cells. These are the terms you should be familiar with this part. Okay, so now we'll just see the video and then come back to the notes. So you can see that the system is found in the pelvic region, and the pair of testes outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch called scrotum. Okay, so scrotum actually helps in maintaining the body temperature, that is lower by 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius. So scrotum provides temperature lower than the body temperature by 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius. So now this body temperature is needed for that spermatogenesis process which is taking place inside the testis. So this testis is found within the sac-like structure scrotum. Can you see that? Okay, when you see the cross-sectional view of this testis, the highlighted portion, the length of it is 4 to 5 centimeter and the width will be around 2 to 3 centimeter in adults. So the testis will be covered by a dense covering just to provide that lower temperature which is needed for spermatogenesis process. This is cross-sectional view of testis. You can see many compartments, around 250 compartments will be seen inside the testis, called as testicular lobules. Each of the compartment will have several, that is 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules, and the inner lining of the seminiferous tubules, that is what you see here now, the inner wall of the seminiferous tubules. You can see the highlighted portion, that is germinal epithelium, and the lower pink colored portion is the blood vessels, and above you could see the spermatogonium, that is spermatogenesis process is taking place and various stages of sperms are seen there. And that pink colored portion you can see that blood capillaries, nerve fibers, and you can also see that green colored globular cell like structures at the base. So those cells are also called as Leydig cells. The green colored portions are called as Leydig cells. They are involved in androgenic hormones secretion, that is testosterone and all that. So androgens are secreted by these cells found inside the seminiferous tubule. And now all the seminiferous tubules now will be getting connected to the next part of the structure, that is accessory ducts. Now accessory ducts will be having, that is the all accessory retitestis, vasa deferentia, and then vasa epididymis, and then vasa efferentia. So you have to learn in this sequence. Retitestis, you can see all the coiled seminiferous tubules are getting connected to retitestis, and from retitestis the secretions will be passing on to vasa efferentia. From vasa efferentia it will be passed on to epididymis, and from epididymis it will be passed on to vas deferens. Can you understand the sequence? From seminiferous tubules to retitestis, retitestis to vasa efferentia, vasa efferentia to epididymis, epididymis to vas deferens. See, the portions are highlighted there. Retitestis collected from the seminiferous tubules, which in turn gets connected to the vasa efferentia and vasa efferentia. So all the secretions found here will be temporarily, that is sperms will be temporarily stored inside this epididymis. So epididymis, you can see that highlighted portion on the posterior side of the testis. So epididymis has got three different parts: head part, body part, and the tail part. Head part caput, body corpus, tail part cauda. Head, body and tail. You can see the sperms over there. So that will be temporarily stored and will be nourishing that region. So next part is how this epididymis is going to get connected to the other parts, that is accessory glands. So vas deferens, you can see. So you can see here three accessory glands. First of all, seminal vesicles was highlighted. Now it is urethra, which is called as the ejaculatory duct. This is prostate gland. Ejaculatory duct is urethra. So urethra, which will be leading into the urinogenital opening called urethral meatus. So that's accessory glands, once again, seminal vesicles, prostate, bulbo-urethral glands. So these three are the accessory glands. You can see that. So seminal vesicles, they are actually in charge of secreting an important chemical substance is called prostaglandins. Okay, so those prostaglandins have two important properties. One is vasodilation property, which means it is rich blood supply will be given by the relaxation of the blood vessels. So that region will be supplied with rich blood circulation. So it has that powerful vasodilating property. And then the next property is inflammatory property. So these two are important properties given by the chemical substance or secretion called prostaglandins. They are hormone like substances. They are not actually endocrinal hormone like substance, but they behave like hormones, because these hormones are going to be found in many parts of the body. Not only here it is found, in other parts of the body also it is found. So they are not complete, they are not endocrinal. So what you are seeing here are the accessory glands, seminal vesicles, prostate, and then bulbourethral glands. So the highlighted portion, seminal vesicles are involved in the seminal plasma secretion, and prostate gland will be involved in secretions containing citrate, phosphate and calcium. They will all be connected to the urethra. Just see the location of this. You can see here vas deferens, and this is seminal vesicle, this is prostate gland, and this is bulbourethral gland. Now see the connectivity here. Vas deferens is getting connected to the urinary bladder, and the seminal vesicle in turn will be connected to the vas deferens, and along with the vas deferens and seminal vesicle secretions that will be traveling to the prostate gland, including the prostate gland secretions, will be traveling through the next duct, taking up the secretions of the bulbourethral gland, and then that will be entering into the ejaculatory duct. So the common urethral, that is, we call that urine as well as the seminal secretions will be having a common opening, so that you call it as, that's why we call it as urinogenital opening. You can understand the connectivity here. So this is vas deferens getting connected to the urinary bladder as well as the seminal vesicle, along with the seminal plasma secreted by all the three glands. It will be entering as a common ejaculatory secretion into the ejaculatory duct, which ejaculatory duct is nothing but the urethra. So let's go back to the PPT. So now the structure will be clear to you. You can start with testis. Testis will be containing the lobules, seminiferous tubules, where the spermatogenesis process will be carried out, and then that will be connected to all the accessory ducts and then the accessory glands. So now again the accessory ducts, just go through the terms, you will understand now. Retitestis, vasa afferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. So the connectivity you can realize now. Seminiferous tubules will be connected to retitestis. Retitestis will in turn get connected to vasa afferentia and epididymis, and then to vas deferens. So seminiferous tubules that would open into the vasa afferentia through retitestis. So all these points we saw in the video. See the last point, the urethra originates from the urinary bladder and extends through the penis to its external opening called urethral meatus. So the urinogenital opening only is called as the urethral meatus. And once again, just recall the accessory glands we saw: paired seminal vesicles, a prostate gland, paired bulbourethral gland. So the secretion of these three glands constitutes the seminal plasma, and that, so all the three secretions together you call it as seminal plasma. The seminal plasma will be rich in fructose because the sperms need that motility and the high energy it requires, so the fructose need to be present. Then calcium and certain enzymes also will be present along with these secretions. And I also told you that particularly seminal vesicles will be involved in forming and secreting prostaglandins, okay, hormone like substances which are helpful in, has two properties: vasodilation and inflammation. And next, the last one is secretion of bulbourethral glands, which helps in lubrication of penis. So next one, the last part of this male reproductive system, is external genitalia. So penis is the external genitalia and it is made up of special tissue that helps in erection of the penis to facilitate insemination, to transfer the sperms into the female reproductive tract. The enlarged end of the penis is called glans penis, and the glans penis is covered by a loose fold of skin, and that you call it as foreskin. So with this we are finishing off this male reproductive system, the structure, and your assignment will be based on this. First question will be based on this diagram. Draw and label the parts in the given diagram. So you can refer to the notes first completely here to the the parts of all the parts of the system, and then try out this. Draw and label the parts. Then describe the structure of a seminiferous tubule, that is testis, and inside the cross section of the testis will be having 250 compartments called lobules, and inside the lobules several, that is each and every lobule will contain 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules, and inside the seminiferous tubule you have the lining. Okay, so that lining, and underneath you have the interstitial space. That interstitial space will consist of nerve fiber, blood capillaries, and also the Leydig cells, which will be in charge of secreting androgens, the hormones like testosterone. So that detailed structure you can, and you can again refer to the diagram given there to draw and describe the structure of seminiferous tubule. So third question is, what are the major components of seminal plasma? So I told you fructose. Apart from that, fructose enzymes will be there. You can also include, it is not mentioned in the notes, but I told you prostaglandins, citrate, phosphate, calcium, all that also you can include. So all these together only you call it as seminal plasma. With this we are finishing off this. So we'll continue with the female reproductive system in the next class. Thank you all children.